Alright, so this video is not going to be scripted like my normal videos because I want to talk to you guys directly instead of reading off my screen. Although I do have some bullet points here of some things that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to thank you guys for supporting the Anti-Haxxers series over this past month. It's been a great run, but unfortunately, all great things have to come to an end, and I think this is a good place to leave it off. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch these videos. Over the course of the series, which began on August 21st, we've gained almost 400 subscribers. I actually was able to apply for monetization, so that's obviously great. I feel like this is one of the best phases this channel's ever gone through. So yeah, I want to thank you guys just for all the support, helping me reach this point in my YouTube career. Alright, now time to deliver the last dose of the hack scene. Alright, first of all, I want to talk about Haxx's apology. A lot of people want to know my opinion on Haxx's apology, whether I think it was good, whether I think it's bad, and that he's caving to the mob. So here it goes. Get ready. Drum roll, please. I actually think it was a good idea, and here's why. Haxx has already said everything he needs to say at this point. There's not really much he can say that he hasn't already tried to say before. And at this point, either people are going to already agree with what he's saying, or they're just gonna disagree with him. I don't think he has the ability to change people's minds anymore, like he did with maybe .zip 2 revised or .zip 3. I just don't think he can do that anymore. And I think it's best that he just leaves the fight to people like technicals who can make coherent arguments, and people will listen to technicals. I feel like at this point, Haxx's PR is a dumpster fire, and I think making this apology will actually recoup some of his lost PR and also help him get unbanned faster. At this point should be his main goal, because there's really nothing he can do when it comes to Leffen. And also, I do think there are some things he handled wrong. Obviously, evidence.zip 2 was a pretty bad video, but even just in general, there are some things that he could have handled better outside of these videos. Like, for example, instead of bringing up how Leffen tried to censor the metagame documentary, he could have first gone to Samox to ask him, hey, maybe don't do this, before publicly talking about it. That's something that I thought he maybe could have done. There are some points that I disagree with him on, like, obviously I talked about the L-canceling political cons, and some of the misinformation that he spewed against the box. The issue with those arguments is that I don't know if it's him being malicious or him just being dumb and having dumb opinions. But the main takeaway that I had from that was just that Leffen has way too much influence, and when he gives an opinion, his fan base is going to reciprocate it. They're freaking robots. Like, that's the main issue that I saw, not the fact that the information that he was spewing out was wrong or faulty. I didn't really care about that, because that's not real. It's hard to prove anything with that. So yeah, I do think there are some things that he was wrong about, so I think apologizing was the right move. Especially if you read the apology, he's not apologizing necessarily directly to Leffen. It's more so the community and the fans that he imposed this on that he feels bad for, which he genuinely does feel bad for. So yeah, I think it was a good idea. I don't think it's not like he's backpedaling. He still believes everything he said. It's just that he's just sorry for how he went about things. So yeah, that's my take on the apology. Now I want to do some quick episode recaps just to clarify certain things that may have not been clear. So episode 1, we talked about how narratives form and how narratives can be manipulated through repetition. Repetition's the biggest thing. If you have enough influence and you repeat something over and over and over again, people will start believing it before the truth is able to get around. I feel like I just quoted Hitler, like, unironically.
That is unfortunately a Hitler quote, but it's one that's very applicable to the current situation.
Isn't that like a Hitler quote? Like, if you lie enough, Hitler lying quote. I don't like this. I do not like this. Yeah, it actually is a Hitler quote. If you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. Oh my god, I hate that. I hate that. I accidentally quoted Hitler. We can't escape it. We cannot escape it. Oh my god. yeah, if just repeat, it doesn't matter whether the information's true or not. If you have power and influence, well, mainly influence, and you just repeat something over and over again, it will be believed. People will believe it, no matter whether it's true or false or whatever. People will begin to believe it. And I also want to clarify that Leffen lying about evidence.zip, the original evidence.zip from 10 years ago, like, it might not be important because he might have changed since then. Here's the thing, I actually do think Leffen has changed to an extent, because if you read the original evidence.zip testimonies and some of the things Leffen did back then, I don't think he would do now. That's how I think he's changed. I don't know if it's just because I don't think he's gonna walk up to a guy with a hearing aid and scream in his ear and harass him constantly. I don't think he's gonna do that. Yeah, so I do think he's changed in that regard, but that's besides the point. It's just the fact that just because something about you isn't true anymore doesn't mean you can lie about it and say that it was never true at one point. I think Samox giving Leffen the platform to explain his side of the story was fine. The problem is that Leffen lied. And I feel like if he can lie about that and get away with it, what else is he capable of? It's the principle. That's kind of the big theme with this series. It's not like things he's doing, like, as I said before, it's not the fact that he's making bad arguments against the box. It's the fact that because he has influence making those arguments, people will reciprocate them, and the misinformation will spread around the community. It's not the actual information that he's wrong or right about. So yeah, it's not the fact that Leffen is still some psychopathic creature. It's the fact that he shouldn't be lying about this. And if he is lying, if he's able to lie about this and get away with it, what else is he able to do, basically? Alright, so the next episode was about Haxx's ban statement and why it's hypocritical. I wanted to go more in depth about Jisoo in that episode, but I didn't really do that. It was mainly just me trashing on Mikey's terrible document. I do think Jisoo deserves to be banned. Here's the thing about banning somebody like Leffen. Banning him's not gonna stop him. He's still gonna be able to stream. D1, Samsora, and apparently Zero started streaming again. Like, if they're able to stream, what makes you think Leffen's gonna be stopped from being banned? It's not gonna happen. I understand not wanting him to be at tournaments, but like, it's not going to stop him from being able to have influence over people. But yeah, I do think Jisoo does need to be banned. She's caused so much trouble for no reason, like just for her own personal benefit of being seen as the martyr of the Smash community, according to Alpharad, which is interesting. Yeah, I just find it stupid how Jisoo can admit to lying and get away with it, but Haxx can tell certain claims that there is reason to believe them. They might not be verifiably true, but there's reason to believe it, but somehow that's defamation. But Jisoo literally admitting to making a false claim against somebody will let it slide. Leffen making false claims against somebody. And here's the other part about this. Like I said before, it's hard to prove whether something's malicious or not, but once again, that's beside the point. Whether something's malicious or not, it's still bad. If I accidentally trip somebody, it's still a bad thing to do, even though there was no malicious intent behind it. It's still a bad thing to trip somebody, so you still apologize, oh, I'm sorry for tripping you, you help them back up, etc. You don't say, no, I don't need to help you back up because I didn't mean to trip you. And to compare it to this, like, okay, Leffen may not have known whether the allegations were true or false, but he could have been like, these are false claims, that still doesn't make up for the fact that he did X, Y, and Z. If he had done that, perfect. No one could argue against that. That would have been a mature thing to do, great thing to do. He didn't do that. He's a tumor to this community. Speaking of tumors, we're now on to Twitter and how essentially Twitter it's degenerate. We all know it's degenerate, but the main issue is the argument style that I talked about, where people just use short, quippy, faulty statements that they're used as bait. Because in normal debates, the burden of proof is on the person making the claims. If you make a claim, you should be able to back it up with evidence. With this style of arguing, it's baiting your opponent into putting the burden of proof on themselves. So you use a short and quippy statement as bait, and your opponent gets all riled up and tries to prove why it's wrong, instead of forcing the person making the claim to prove why it's right. And that's the problem, because by baiting somebody into explaining why you're wrong, it's a stamina battle, because you're not going to want to correct somebody for the 100th time. You're going to, if you just see something wrong, you're just going to give up and not even bother replying. So it allows, once again, it allows these statements to outlast the truth long term. Nobody's going to want to go through the trouble to correct them for the 1000th time, which must be because they're right. Yeah, basically, just use the Socratic method. Be smart when you debate with people, and be calm and patient. You know, don't get flustered because things aren't going your way. Just relax, act calm. If they make a claim that you know is false, force them to prove why it's right instead of you proving that it's wrong. That's what you should focus on. So the next episode was about plausible deniability and the actual crimes that Leffen committed against other people in our community in terms of his lies and how he uses these controversies to generate his own brand. Now, somebody actually left a pretty interesting comment on my video, because I actually think it's intriguing, because I kind of mentioned this in the slime video about how people use drama for their own monetary gain, and how I think that's okay, but some people, let me see this. Sounds like you don't understand how getting people to listen to you works as well as Leffen does. If you're a grown man, then it's sad that you get butthurt about what another grown man can accomplish. You're doing the same thing you claim you're against, except I never said I was against it. You're using another person to gain more views and build your following, except you're not as good as it. Here's the difference between me and Leffen. I'm not lying. I'm not making up false allegations of sexual misconduct to bring Leffen down. I'm just using publicly available evidence to say, I don't think Leffen's a good person, and here's why. This isn't like Area 51 classified stuff. Like, this isn't some gotcha moment. I'm literally just saying, I don't like Leffen. These are the things that he's done. Prove me wrong, basically. I'm making a claim, and I'm backing it up with evidence, like I said before. Leffen made false allegations against someone. That's the difference between me and him. He's using false allegations to boost his platform. I'm using, in my opinion, legitimate evidence. You may disagree, but at least from my perspective, I believe it's legitimate. And I'm not doing it to grow my brand. I mean, if you followed my channel long enough, you'd know I made the Melee Shorts series, I've made Melee guides. If I wanted views, I could just make those, and I'd get the same amount of views as I'm getting now. I make these videos because this is the platform I have to do so. This is my largest platform where I have the most influence and I can communicate my opinions to the most amount of people. I can't do that on Twitter. I can't do that on Twitch, especially can't do that on platforms like Instagram and TikTok that I don't even use. This is my platform. This is where people will listen to me. So that's why I go here to post these videos. As I said before, I wasn't even monetized when I first started this. I was not making money off these videos. I'm building a following, obviously, and I am using Leffen to do so on a certain level. It's just that I'm not lying. I'm not being malicious in my way of doing this. Alright, next episode was my favorite episode, the slime episode, which came out very recently. It was a lot more divisive than I thought it would be. Like, it easily has the worst like to dislike ratio out of all my videos. And Slime actually found it, and he commented, I gotta do this in Slime's voice.
Dude, Ludwig was nowhere near top 100, Lumfow. Also, everyone knows the surf map is easy. Other than that, great video, 10 out of 10.
Alright, so he liked the video. There was this part, I don't know why nobody told me, but for whatever reason, somewhere I heard that Ludwig was a former top 100 player. I don't know why, but I said that in the video, and apparently it was wrong, and I feel bad. I should have fact checked that, so that's my fault, but in all honesty, it's irrelevant to the whole video. It has nothing to do with any of my arguments. But yeah, Slime finding the video kind of proves my point that he'll go out of his way to find people who he disagrees with, and then tries to say, oh, I don't care. Is just kind of stupid in my opinion, but that's just me. So yeah, also I gotta beat the allegations real quick. This guy said, bro, his surf gameplay is easily worse than anything Haxx or Leffen ever done. This dude needs to hang up the keyboard and mouse and turn himself in. Please get better at surf. Oh my lord, this map is older than most children. How have you not figured out how to beat it yet? I gotta beat these allegations, man. This is not my gameplay. I don't play CSGO. I do not. If it was my gameplay, it would be Melee gameplay. But yeah, I got it from, I just Google search free CSGO gameplay, HD, 1080p, 60 frames per second. I'm gonna try to pronounce this name. Nikhil Yadahali. I think I got that right. But yeah, I just took the gameplay from him. It's from 2017, so but yeah, I'm sorry, I had to beat the allegations there. Alright, so that's the episode recap. Now, I promised a Q&A, so let's talk about some of these questions here. I've already answered some of them, but first question, we got, who do you main in Smash? Future plans for the channel? Do you return your grocery cart? As you guys probably know, if you've been with this channel for a while, you would know that I main Ice Climbers. I picked up Ice Climbers when I first started playing Melee about 5 years ago, because when I was a kid, I thought it was cool that the Ice Climbers could wobble people, so I wanted to wobble people, but now it's banned, but I'm able to still do some pretty cool punishes on people, so that's pretty nice. I placed 65th at Get On My Line 2021, so that was pretty cool, being able to play against guys. I'm so mad because I lost a game to Sika, the Marth player, where I was up that game, but I ended up as in dashing at the end and choking it away. No! No! Then I got pretty badly beaten game 2, but you know, it was a fun experience, and I do recommend that if you want to get better at Melee, please attend tournaments. Like, that's the only way to really know if you're improving or not, because tournaments give you a tangible way to view how you're progressing. Alright, next, future plans for the channel. I want to continue more doc style content, but over less serious things like video games and movies and TV shows and that kind of stuff. You know, a lot more relaxed. I might start doing gaming stuff again. I was thinking about doing some streams, maybe streaming gaming stuff like playing Minecraft or something, or playing Melee, although I can't really play Melee because my internet's been kind of weird. I've been having trouble connecting on Slippy, but yeah, we could play a variety of games on stream. Maybe starting a podcast. I've been entertaining that idea for the past few months. And just as a heads up, this will be, for the time being, the last episode of Anti-Haxxers until something major happens, like we get a verdict on Hax's ban, or Leffen does something bad again, or if Technicals uploads a video and I want to discuss it. So yeah, this will unfortunately be the last episode, but it's been a great run. Alright, and finally, do you return your grocery cart? Yes. Like what kind of idiot do you think I am? Yeah, of course I do. Like, next question. What features do you wish Melee had as a video game? I wish I had more casual features, like Subspace Emissary is obviously like one of the most iconic things about the Smash franchise, because it was a pretty fun story mode. It was great. I think something like that being implemented into Melee, like a better story mode, would be cool. Obviously, more characters would be great. A ranked system on Slippy would be pretty cool, but I mean, that's coming out in the future, and I'm patient because Fizzy's literally one of the greatest people to ever contribute to Melee. So yeah, I'm grateful for what we have and what we're gonna get soon. I'll be patient for. More casual content would be nice. Just making the game fun and more accessible to people who don't want to play it competitively, because it's a good game. Alright, next question. Is water wet? This is a serious question that needs to be answered. Yes, water is wet. I hate people who try to say, oh, but it's not like in and of itself wet, because like fire, it burns things, but it's not in and of itself. Like, shut up. Water is wet. Just stop. It's not that deep. Water is wet. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. If you touch water, have you touched water before? What does it feel like? It feels wet. End of story. Next question is, from a scale of 1 to 10, how successful was Hax in terms of damaging the reputation of Leffen, and why did you choose this number? I think the damage was pretty big. When you take the horrendous presentation into account, even .zip 3 had still unnecessary psychoanalyses. I think it did a ton of damage to Hax's PR, but you need to, the thing that people aren't talking about, Leffen's losing support too. Like, he's losing Twitter followers, he's losing followers on pretty much every platform. It's not like he was just unfazed and it didn't put a dent into him. He's bleeding. and it's only a matter of time before Technicals just takes the dagger and just stabs it in there. So I do think he was successful in that sense, and I do think in terms of the top figures with who have power, a lot of them are connected to each other in a sort of like circle jerkish manner. In terms of the people that have the power, they're kind of left inside, but in terms of the community, I think it's a lot more split. And it also depends on what platform you go on. YouTube is pretty Hax-sided, Twitter's kind of mixed. I heard Reddit is heavily leffen, so yeah. But I would say it's a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. Next thing, what did you think of evidence.zip 3? I think it was a great video. It's one of the things that actually convinced me that Hax was right and that I should do something like Anti-Haxxers, because I knew Leffen wasn't a good person, but I didn't feel like I should be attacking him. Like, I didn't feel like siding with Hax. Like, if you watch the current state of the Smash community, that came out the day before .zip 3, and you can hear my tone throughout the video towards Hax's video. I was mainly making fun of it. Like, I was saying, like, this video is not about Hitler quotes, Adidas pants, L canceling, political cons. I made a joke about state terrorism. But yeah, you could tell, like, my tone shifted pre.zip 3 to post.zip 3. Alright, next. Do you think Leffen is a sociopath? I said this before earlier in the video, but I'll say it again. I don't know. I do think he is. I think during the 10 years ago, I would say definitely yes, but I do think he's improved since then. The question is, by how much? Even if he's not a sociopath, and even if he didn't do anything with malicious intent, it's still bad, so I don't think it ultimately matters, and I don't like speaking in that kind of terminology when we don't have degrees in psychology. We're not qualified to call Leffen a sociopath. Alright, next question is keyboard on Melee / Slippy viable in your opinion? It might be, honestly. I mean, box controllers are viable, clearly. I know some people who play Melee on keyboard. I'm not really an expert, but I do think it is. Next question, has Technicals or Hax ever reached out to you in response to your videos? Yes, actually. Technicals ended up retweeting one of my videos, and he commented on it, the current state of the Smash community. Hax has actually reached out to me over Discord DMs, and we've discussed stuff there, so. Next, what is your first memory of playing a video game, and what is your fondest memory of playing a video game? My first memory was playing Wii Sports back in 2009 when I was in first grade, just getting a Wii for Christmas, and that was really the start of my gaming, my pro gaming career. Wii Sports. What is this esports? We're talking about Wii Sports. Yeah, but fondest memory of playing a video game. I mean, I probably have to go with, honestly, the videos on this channel. Playing Among Us with the boys during COVID was, like, there's a reason I posted those videos, even though this is a Melee channel. Like, obviously I wanted to try to jump on the trend, but at the same time, I really enjoyed playing the game with, you know, everybody, the funny moments we'd had, some of the good games we have. If I had to pick one, definitely the episode where I self-report 3 times and win. That everybody hated me for that. It's Niall. Matt. No. Yes.
I saw Jack kill him right in front of me.
It's Jack. It's Jack. It's actually Jack. Like, I'm just laughing because it was so funny, but like, yeah, that's probably it. But do you think Esam, Leffen, or any other people in the community will be held responsible, or should we just all jump to different games? All right, so here's the thing about Esam. Like, people are like, oh, Esam, he should be banned. He's such a toxic person. He's terrible for the community. I don't care. Like, all he is a panderer. That's all he is. He panders. That's like the worst thing he's done. And like push false allegations, which is bad, but at least he's apologized for that. Like, Jisoo also apologized for one of the false allegations, so. You know, Esam is nowhere near one of the biggest concerns this community. I take 3 Esams over Leffen in a heartbeat. Like that. I take 3 of them. I think MVD is worse than Esam, honestly. I don't know, because I've never met these people, so I can't judge them as people, so that's kind of hard. But yeah, Leffen, I feel like at some point he's going to have to address all this stuff, because it's not gonna go away. It's never gonna go away. Next we have, do you think Technicals will be able to do some serious damage to Leffen once he makes his Leffen video? Honestly, yes, I do think so. I think Technicals is much better than Hax at making coherent arguments. even .zip 3, which I thought was a great video, I think technicals would do a much better job than .zip 3. Yeah, I just think technicals will do a better job. This is the last question. All right, do you think Hax would have won had he released evidence.zip 3 as his first video? Honestly, I don't know. I'd like to believe he would have, but unfortunately, we will never know. Like, I hate to give that answer, but like, literally, sure. That's my answer. So yeah, that was, it's been a good run. These past few episodes, making this series was a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Just thanks for all the support. Been great. Hopefully you guys stick around for future content. Just as a quick heads up, because I don't want you guys to be like, oh no, this is the end. Like, I'm not done talking about this stuff. Well, for the time being, I'm done talking about this stuff, and I'm not going to continue to talk about it unless something major happens. Like I said before, like, I'm not just going to devote this channel to talking about drama. I don't want to become a drama channel, because that's just, I don't like talking about serious stuff like this, because it's like, these are real people with real lives, and it's not a game. It's not like, it shouldn't be used as entertainment so much, but like, at the same time, I don't know these people. I can't just contact them and tell them privately like, hey, I think X, Y, and Z. I can't do that. And if I want my opinion to be heard in a place where it matters, you have to make these videos, in my position at least. But yeah, this series is over for the time being, or I'm putting it on hold for the time being. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.